hate speech. What is hate speech? It's not really defined in the legislation. What exactly is it? Oh, the tall man comes up. What is hate speech? Well, let me give a definition. Hate speech is speech that the government hates. And what's clear over the last number of years, with the legislation that's been brought in, and you can see even about the priority of people on the housing list, that the people who the Irish government hate is the Irish people. We're clearly always last on the list. We're the idiots who go to work and pay taxes. And the government decides who gets the money, who gets the fruits of our labour. And as we're out working, they're in the door working and scheming and scamming to remove our rights to speak freely. The lockdown period was a bad time for Ireland. And the government got into the bad habit of thinking that they could tell us where we could go, who we could see. Could we see our parents or could we not? Well, we should tell the whole lot of them, no way! No way, Jose or little Leo. And I'm very sorry to see that every agency of the state was brought in to work to ensure the compliance and the fear of the Irish people. You can see there, I better put two of them on. We can see that the media, what has happened in Ireland is that we have the formation of a uni-party. I'm stealing your line, Michael, sorry about that. The formation of the coalescing of the political class and the media class and the NGO class. NGOs get 8% of all taxpayers' money spent in Ireland every year. But did you see that story there, was it yesterday, about fake tan and the Irish Times? It was actually a fake story about fake tan. It was absolutely delicious. I loved it. But it shows that the media, we could see during the lockdown, instead of the media holding the government, the powerful, to account, they were just government mouthpieces, lackeys of those in power. Instead of holding power to account, all he did was abuse us and try to generate fear. Well, do you know what? We're not afraid! They think, those morons, they think that they're going to intimidate us. They'll not intimidate us. We don't have to get angry. No, we just have to get even. We never beat the Irish. You'll never beat the Irish. You'll never beat the Irish. Hey, Judge. But let's look at this slide. So the media, instead of holding the powerful to account, are their little lackeys who turn around to us, try to generate a culture of fear and compliance in Irish people. But it won't work because many people around the country have started to wake up, see what's going on, and compared to 4 and 5 years ago, we had the first rally against the UN Migration Pact outside the Dáil. I think it was November 2018, and there's only 150 people now. Well, we can see there, thanks to the many people here from around the country, that the people are rising up. They've had enough of a power-hungry government. And all around Ireland in the last 6 months, you had rallies and marches against the imposition of the colonisation of our country by these traitorous politicians and this traitorous Dáil. Yeah, so the prostitutes of Ireland, the Irish media, have done us no favours, but that's no change. They were always licking the boots of the powerful. Thanks for that. This is where kind of comedy skills come in, and I should kind of interject with with my dad jokes. Thanks, Paul. Right, but I will speak on the bill. So basically, this, and always, like I would urge you, always be very careful about the language you use. Never use the language of your enemy, which is hate speech bill, because it's an anti-free speech bill. Always name, claim and tame language. It's our words. We decide our words, they decide their words, and never repeat what your enemy wants. Secondly, we can see that at the moment, under the Irish Constitution, there's equality of all citizens before the law. What this legislation means to bring in is inequality of all citizens before the law, that certain groups who the government chooses, selects, that they are given certain privileges over and above everybody else. And of course, who comes bottom of the list? Paddy! Instead of Ireland first, it's always Paddy last. That's what happens in Ireland. So it introduces inequality before the law and makes the government gets to select certain groups who have privilege. And there's certain aspects, it's been made very clear in the Dáil already. Cathal Crowe, Fianna Fáil or Fianna Fáil, TD down in Clare, has made comments that, he actually said in the Dáil that part of the intent of this bill was to shut down the Irish Freedom Party and the views that it held, and so they make it very clear it's about this bill is all about censored. Is there anybody out here who's willing to be censored? No! I thought that. Good. Second aspect of this bill, which Jared touched on there, is section 15, where it's a thought crime legislation, where at the whim of a Garda who suspects that someone may have material in their possession which some people may perceive as hateful, that they can go and ask a judge and get a search warrant to take away, break into the house with reasonable force, it says, take all their communication material, be it phones and computers, and also to search all the friends and the family inside that property at the minute. It is unbelievable. This is like we used to have, Ireland used to be under Cromwellian rule. And we used to have, but now this legislation is Orwellian. And it is like dystopian in its nature. It's very, very dangerous. But let's make sure, everybody, that we will stand against it. And do you know one thing? The only thing that makes these people afraid is, one, you get noticed going out rallies on the street. So fair play to everybody who's gone out in the last 6 months and rallied to show the government that we are opposed to the colonisation of Ireland, because we never asked for it and we don't want it. As I said, what we want is a free people in a free country, and we'll decide what we think and what we say. So get out, show your feelings to people, get on to your senator and make very clear to the 50 senators in there that this legislation must be stopped. The amendments must be, a raft of amendments must be put in to stop the real effect of this legislation. But let's be very clear, the only thing that politicians in Ireland fear is losing votes and losing money. So we're looking for more candidates to run in the next general election. So if you're frisky for a run in the election, in the Grand National of the general election, please make your name and voice heard to yourselves, because we want to run candidate in every constituency in the country, that we can generate fear and loathing in the political class in Ireland, that we need to make these people afraid of us, afraid of the Irish people, instead of them thinking they can generate fear.